My, oh my, we got the Battlefield 6 multiplayer reveal, and we got a lot more than I thought. We got information on the classes, all of the maps coming at launch, the way the create a class is going to work, Battle Royale, no, you did not hear me wrong, the campaign, and much, much more. But what I wanted to do for you guys is take all of that new information of everything that we got, put it into one place so you can know. Also, they're doing like a creative thing, like Fortnite creative. Yeah, they're making something like that as well. It's wild, the amount of things that they are doing. Is Call of Duty in trouble? Possibly. But first, let's talk about everything that is new with Battlefield 6. What's interesting here is there's going to be 9 maps at launch, but there's a little bit of a twist for that because this year Battlefield is coming a little bit more for Call of Duty because they're also going to have small team modes as well, which include 8v8 or 16 total players on a map with Domination and Team Deathmatch, as well as multi-squad, so 4v4v4 deathmatch coming as well. Now, they didn't give us all 9 map locations. One of them is Operation Firestorm, which was returning from Battlefield 3. This one is Gibraltar, another fire going down the side of a mountain on that one. The one after this we have is Cairo. This is in Egypt, of course, and in the distance, you can actually see the pyramids, which I think is a pretty cool thing they did. This one is in Tajikistan. It's called District. As far as this one goes, it's up in the mountains. I think a lot is going to be dependent on planes and helicopters. And then, of course, we have Brooklyn as well, taking place in the USA. My personal favorite of all of them. This map looks insane. So those are the maps that we know. There's also essentially going to be 4 others coming at launch as well. But this one, you can see the various different sections of the maps cordoned off. If you were playing an 8v8 or a 4v4v4 mode, they kind of just take the bigger maps and then section them off into smaller maps. And then you're going to have a bunch of different maps in those individual modes just based off of the big ones. Now, don't worry, the big modes are still going to be there as well, including Conquest, Rush, Breakthrough, and then there is a new mode that is coming that is called Escalation. Now, they didn't do too good of a job describing what this map was, but what they wanted it to do was end off in one big battle at the very end of the game. But then the small team modes, including King of the Hill, Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Squad Team Deathmatch coming as well. Now, they also announced that Portal is going to be making a return, but this time it's essentially going to be a giant map editor that you can use on the existing map to essentially make your own game modes. And some that they show off is a game mode that appears to be something along the lines of Only Up or Get Higher, as well as another one which appears to be like literally flying through the air with a parachute, trying to go through specific goals and things like that. So you can create your own modes, and there's going to be like a leveling system kind of like that as well with it. That's seemingly a little bit similar to Fortnite Creative, I guess would be the best thing to compare it to, which seems like a lot of games are going for that kind of Roblox create your own game kind of vibe. The rumor is GTA 6 will be doing something similar as well. So I wanted to take a closer look at the menus here. The menu system is very similar to what we see oddly from Modern Warfare 2019 with the play and loadouts up at the top. They're kind of taken from Call of Duty on that one. But what I wanted to focus on here was the loadouts and class system that Battlefield 6 actually has, because of the event that we have today, we can get a pretty good look at all of this and how it is actually all going to tie together and actually work. So when we go to loadouts, the first thing you're going to notice is the 4 individual classes. So you have Assault Engineer, then you have Support, as well as Recon. Now, you can use any individual weapon with these 4 different classes. However, as you can see right here, each class has its unique traits, signature weapons, and pool of gadgets. So your gadgets and unique traits are going to be dependent upon the class. However, your weapon, you can use any weapon, but the one that you're going to excel the most with, or they want you to, is that signature weapon. As you can see off to the right there, you can swap your faction between Pax Armada and the other one is NATO. So the whole thing is Pax versus NATO. Now, you can see here the various different types of weapons, including the assault rifles, carbine, SMG, LMG, DMR, sniper rifle, and shotgun. And as I mentioned, you can use each one of these weapons with any class, as you can see here. They did announce one individual thing, and that was that they are going for a modern military style game, which means any sort of cosmetics or anything like that should line up with the type of game that they are trying to create. Now, as far as customizing these individual weapons, we'll get into how that works in a little bit, and it's kind of very similar to the Pick 10 system, oddly, but on individual weapons. It's actually kind of cool. Also for secondary, in the build that they were playing, there is only one pistol, the P18 available. Now, once you get back into the gadgets, you can see that there are two types of field specs that you can choose between frontliner and then the other one. You can see down the left-hand side here, you have your adrenaline injector, your assault rifle, and your soft landing. So there's your signature trait, there's your signature weapon, and there's your signature gadget. You can see it all laid out in your class here, and that's the way it will work with each individual class as well. Now, when it comes to customizing your weapons, this is going to look incredibly similar to the gunsmith from Modern Warfare 2019, but this is what we're going to call the pick 100 system. You can see up in the top left there, it says 40 out of 100. Now, each attachment is going to add a certain amount of weight all the way up to 100, and that is how many attachments you can equip on an individual weapon. So different attachments are different weights, all the way up to 100. So going back to the classes, first off, we have Assault. Now, this is supposed to be the front line, the person pushing for the furthest forward, and what they have able to be used on this class are, first of all, a grenade launcher able to blow up walls. You have a flashbang able to breach and clear rooms. On top of that, you have increased mobility over other classes, as well as an adrenaline shot, which improves your movement and recovery as well. And basically, the biggest thing here is you can use two primary weapons with the Assault class, if you ask me. When they get to the Engineer, this one is all about destroying enemy vehicles or repairing your own. You're going to have options like rocket launchers and mines, as well as a satchel that can improve the amount that you have for them, as well as repair your own vehicles at the same time. And of course, we have Support. This is one of the coolest in my opinions. First of all, you are able to drag enemies behind cover in this game when they're down, what I think is super cool. Also, with this class, you can throw down boxes, supply caches. You can throw down a barricade, which can block grenades and explosives. And of course, you can revive your teammates with the paddles. So then we have Recon, which is of course the class that is supposed to provide information to your teammates. Now, the things that they have are pretty interesting in this one. First of all, you have C4, which can use to blow up cover or destroy vehicles. You have a drone, which can be used to gather intel, and then the most interesting one to me is the laser designator, which can be used to direct your teammates' missiles towards, for example, a helicopter. Now, after they announced all of this, the other thing that they showed off was the movement. And this is probably the thing that shocked me the most. First off, they have a new system where if you jump off a high ledge, you will actually roll when you hit the ground. Smashing through doors and barricades looks smoother than ever. On top of that, there's like this dive and prone mechanic where you can kind of lean while you are prone. It looks incredibly smooth, and in my opinion, by far way faster than any Battlefield I have seen before, which in my opinion is a good, but I am kind of curious to see what the old school players really think about this one. And as I mentioned before, the drag to revive system, which I think looks pretty amazing as well. Now, at this point, you may be thinking, wow, this looks like Modern Warfare 2019 meets Battlefield 6, and that's kind of the thought that I was having as well. It's clear what they're going for with this game. Now, they were asked what they thought about the competition between Call of Duty, and this was their statement. We are clearly super excited about Battlefield 6. We believe our game is unique. There's something about it you can't get in any other game. Our focus is on delivering the best Battlefield game we can. A game our old school hardcore fans will love. And honestly, I think that is a perfect statement. They're not trying to be Call of Duty. They're trying to be the best Battlefield that they can. And that being said, I truly believe they are taking some pages out of Call of Duty's marketing books. For example, they are doing a 2-weekend open beta. However, they're doing it a little bit better than Call of Duty. You don't need to pre-order the game whatsoever, even for early access. So the early access starts on August the 7th. And if you applied for Battlefield Labs, or you just watched some of the Twitch streams today, then you will have got a code. Otherwise, it's just an open beta at all times for 2 weekends, which is very similar to what Call of Duty has done. But again, no pre-order required. Now, if you play the beta for weekend 1, you are going to be able to get some soldier skins, and here's some examples of things we can expect. And then weekend 2, you have a vehicle skin, a Bat Company dog tag, as well as the striking distance weapon package as well. And again, this just kind of reconfirms what we were talking about with the type of bundles and items we will see as microtransactions when the game comes out. Now, how egregious they will be, how much they will cost, only time will tell for that one, but so far looking pretty decent. Now, as far as pre-ordering, there is really not a huge bonus for pre-ordering the standard edition, just a full game download as well as the Tombstone pack for pre-order. However, there's another Phantom Edition, which is going to be, of course, more expensive, which, by the way, they did announce that the base game is only going to be $70. They're not raising it to $80. However, the Phantom Edition is going to be more. Now, this one's going to include the Battlefield Pro token, which basically is the Battle Pass, 25 tier skips, and the ability to unlock one bundle, as well as some extra skins and extra weapon packages, some weapon skins, very, very similar to what we see for pre-order bonuses for Call of Duty as well. Now, there's also a Phantom XP boost set, which I am very curious to see what that is, whether it's just double XP or whatever it may be. And keep in mind, they did put out a statement saying that essentially for the first year, you can expect the skins in this game to be very militaristic. They're not going to go off the rails. Now, after that first year, I don't know why they would have said that, but that is the statement that I have seen come out. So at least we have 1 year of realistic skins. Maybe it'll change depending on how they sell or whatever it may be, or how this next thing will do. So this is, of course, the new Battlefield Battle Royale. It's interesting because it says coming to Battlefield Labs soon, and those are the test servers. So in other words, people are going to be playing this soon. However, based off of the rumors and based off of the leaks, this is not going to be coming to the full launch of the game until months after its release. So probably January or February time period, which is an interesting timing because of when GTA 6 is coming out. But it is now confirmed that that is what they are working on. It is in California, and all of the leaks that we've seen regarding that are pretty much guaranteed at this point. Now, I want to give my quick opinions on this, but I also wanted to show you some gameplay. This is from Charlie Intel on Twitter, and this is on Gibraltar. It is Domination, which is an 8v8 game mode, and it kind of shows you what like the smaller team games, more similar or akin to Call of Duty, will actually end up looking like. So similar to the original Battlefield, you can still choose your class, so like Assault, Recon, Support, that kind of thing, and then your class is based off of that. Just like in the big game modes, it works the same in 8v8. Where there's a difference is when you spawn in, how fast you get into action and the way the respawns work. Now, this is when things started to get interesting for me, because before, when they said the statement about Battlefield being Battlefield, it is going to be Battlefield, but it's also going to be a dash of something else as well. We saw it with the creative mode that they were talking about, that they're kind of going for the Fortnite creative and that kind of side of things as well. With these smaller team modes like Domination and Team Deathmatch, definitely going for more of a Call of Duty vibe, as you can see here, with instant respawns, things along those lines. And honestly, it looks really good. They have done a good job with this, and with the way that people are going right now with their shooter games, I think they're sick of like futuristic, unrealistic style games and want this kind of down-to-earth modern game, which Call of Duty is set to be doing not this year, but next year. So I think that Battlefield has a prime instance to really take over some of the FPS players that are just sick of what Call of Duty has done. They want the down-to-earth military shooter. They want the kind of down-to-earth microtransactions that aren't just all over the place. And on top of that, with a Battle Royale coming later on in the year as well, it'll be very interesting to see how this performs. At the same time, this is still a Battlefield game, and we've seen how Battlefield games perform and do at launch. And that's why they said they were doing the whole Battlefield Labs thing, so time will tell. But again, with the Battlefield, I kind of stand by the remember, maybe not pre-order yet, but I'm definitely going to be playing the beta, and I'm definitely going to be playing this one at launch. And if you guys want to see more Battlefield videos, maybe some more story videos with Battlefield, I would love to do that, and all you got to do to show me is simply hit that like button. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope I could keep you informed. Until next time, peace.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard.